Sabhaya Namaha. Our Indian culture and tradition is entirely different from other cultures of the universe or the world, because we have lots of religions, traditions, and their customs are strictly followed by everyone. Each and every religion, they have formed some kinds of principles or customs to maintain the ancestral traditions. Similarly, in Hinduism, it is a very famous ism is called Vaishnavism. Those who are devotees of Vishnu is called Vaishnavites. They worship Lord Vishnu in each and every aspects of their traditional ways. Among them, so many seers, Acharya, Purushas, served the lotus feet of Lord Sriman Narayana. Among them, we know very well about Sri Ramanujacharya, Manavala Mahamuni, and 12 Acharyas, Alvars. They are called 12 Alvars, 12 Alvars. All of them served sincerely to enlighten the traditions and principles of Vaishnavism to the limelight of the society. Among them, Acharya Pillalokan is one among them. He emphasized much on Artha Panchakam. That means primarily it is a sampradaya work which, being information or informative work, gives detailed description about the principles and traditions of Vaishnavites, how to follow, how to do, how to obey the traditions. When we come across Vaishnavite seals, so many of them brought their views out how to lead the life with deep devotion over Sriman Narayana. Today we are going to discuss about the great seal, great Vaishnavite priest called Pidalokacharya and his work Artha Panchakam. Let us go through this. First of all, prayer. Shri Shailesha Daya Patram Deepakyadi Gunarnavam Yatindra Prabanam Vande Ramyaja Mataram Munim. Artha Panchaka, written in 13th century AD by the celebrated Vaishnavite seer Pidalokacharya, represents the essence of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. It forms one of the 18 Rahasyas or secret doctrines given us by the author, and it deals with 5 supreme truths or principles that each liberation seeking souls needs to comprehend. The Jivatma, which is trapped in the cycle of births and deaths, are subjected to the miseries of bondage, should obtain knowledge of the 5 truths or principles. After having comprehended these truths, he has to shape his conduct according to his knowledge to secure salvation, means moksha. It is to be noted that the Artha Panchakam is primarily a sampradaya work which, being informative, does not support its claims with evidence from the scriptures. The contributions of Artha Panchaka to Sri Vaishnavism can be subsumed, controlled, under 5 topical heads discussed in detailed description by our Honorable Pidalokacharya. Classification of Artha Panchaka, 5 truths. What are the 5 truths? Artha Panchakam. See, number 1, Swaswarupam. Number 2, Paraswarupam. Number 3, Purushartha Swarupam. Number 4, Upaya Swarupam. Number 5, Virodhi Swarupam. So let us discuss these 5 truths in a detail as follows. First of all, Swaswarupam means soul principle, understanding our own soul. Swaswarupa means nature, principle, property or essence. The knowledge of a thing consists in knowing its nature, Swarupam, or knowing that principle, Rupam, by means its properties. It is the truth or knowledge which is epitomized in these traits. The unself is the soul. So called is being owned as the self or what is connoted by the explanation I. The sun and the moon, contingent one's self or the soul, is controllable under the categories. What are the categories? The categories are given 5. Number 1, the Nityas, mean the free, ever free. 2, the Mukta, mean the freed. The Baddha, the bound. The Kevala, the isolate of aloof. 5th, the Mumukshu, that would be free. First of all, Nitya. The Nityas are the ever free are those angelic spiritual beings, are blessed souls who came never known conditioned existence. In other words, who are never involved in the wheel of worldly carriers, beings who are ever in a state of bliss, beings whose wills are ever in conformity with the will of Bhagavan, beings who are endowed with the privilege or possesses the estates by virtue of which things they are able to perform the function of supreme advisors in all this, the powers of delegation and the power of cosmos. That means to make or unmake worldly systems, beings who remain at the side of God, his constant comrades and surrogates, stand in all these things, accompanying him in all his various incarnation. Incarnation means avatara. Beings who are entitled to perform the high offices of systems of samsara. Number 2, the muktas, the freed, are those who by the grace of God have been liberated from all the pains and taints contingent on their conjunctive existence of Prakriti, whose taste in the fullest measure the blissfulness of Bhagavan in all his several aspects of essence, means Swarupa, person, Rupa, excellence, Guna and glory are the Vaibhava, who by reason of such divine joy overflowing the bounds of their beings burst into poems of praise and so dwell forever and ever, drowned in rapturous delights in the eternal regions of heaven called Vaikuntha, mean never more to return into the migration of material existence. Third, the Baddhas. The Baddhas are mean the bond, are those souls who are turned away from the God by reason of their illusionary identifying their souls with the bodies which they wear, constituted as these bodies are of 5 material elements, impermanent, cause of joy and grief, corrupt, so that in the absence of dwindling soul, they are uplift for the sight or touch, and which breed the mental aberrations such as ignorance, ajnana, anyatha jnana, viparita jnana. 3 kinds. Fourth one, the Kevalas, isolate or aloof, are those souls who feel alike creatures stranded in solitude and who, stung by hunger and grown listless, devour their own flesh for food. They aspire to escape from the fires of samsara that consume them and seek retirement into their own solitary cells. These take sedulously through studies of the science of the soul because they have come to discern that the soul is an entity distinct from the body and that the body is the seat of the sorrow and the compound of corruption, while the soul is the 25th category, distinct from the above, the sum of the 24 material categories that comprise the body, self-luminous, blissful, eternal, and spiritual substance. Fifth one, the mukshus, the would-be free, are those souls in whom the longing desire for salvation, mean moksha, has arisen. These are the two classes. Upasakas mean strivers, and the prapannas are the resigned. The former seek salvation by self-effort, and the latter leave the same to God's care. The former thinks of the salvation as is concerned, whereas the latter thinks of it as the concern. Second, Paraswarupa. Swaswarupa over. Artha Panchakam, among the Artha Panchakam, first Swaswarupa over. Among the Swaswarupa, 5 differences discussed. Now, second is Artha Panchakam, Paraswarupam. That is God principle. This truth or principle is subsumable. Subsumable means controllable. Under 5 categories. What are they? The para, the supreme, or the beyond. The vyuha, the grouped. The vibhava, the multiplied. The antaryami, the indwelling or internal ruler. The archa, the imaged. The para, let us discuss one by one. The para means the form of Bhagavan is eternal transcendent essence of the spiritual substance which is conscience. The beyond the supreme or ne plus supra around with rotates as it were every kind of cosmic phenomenon or manifestation. Number 2, the vyuha form is his becoming grouped after deviation from para into such groups as possess the fitness to perform severally the functions in the material or manifested cosmos of the making, the keeping, and the breaking of the fabric of worlds countless. These dared godships take the names Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana, and so forth. Third one, the Vibhava form consists of the avatars or the incarnation of such as Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, etc. Fourth one, the Antaryami form. It falls into 2 classes. The one is all pervadingness of God, the inner soul of souls, forming the very basis of their Swarupa Vyutpatti, let us Swarupa Vyapti. And the other is the beatific presence, the union of mother and father principles of Godhood means Guna Vyapti, enshrined in the heart and ever watching and directing the systole and distole of all process of the soul's being. The Archa form consists in the images of Bhagavan which accommodate themselves to the various tests of his creatures for their worship, having no fixed form, but that which is the worshipper may choose and desire to have him, having no fixed name of God, but that which worshipper may choose and desire to call him by all-knowing, but seeming as it not knowing, all-powerful, but seeming as a powerless, all sufficient but seeming as if needy, thus seeming to exchange places the worshipped with the worshipper, and choosing to be accurately manifest into him temples and homes, in short of at all places and all times desired. Third, Purushartha Swarupa. Among Artha Panchakam, third one is Purushartha Swarupa. Goal principle. This truth or principle is subsumable under 5 categories. Again, every Artha having categories. Dharma, duty; Artha, wealth; Kama, joys; Atma Anubhava, soul bliss; Bhagavat Anubhava, God bliss. First, Dharma means duty. Is good works for the sake of all sentient creatures, such as good works as sustain the moral unity of the universe, or that cohesive force inherent in the righteous works which binds together all existence into harmonious whole or unity. Dharma is unifying, adharma is separative, the one cohesive, the other is divisive. Next, Artha means wealth. Is money, gain and such other possessions acquired in strict conformity with the rules of Varna and Ashrama, and using the same in the spirit of the charity in the service of gods or devas, pitrus and all other creatures generally, with due regard to place, time and fitness. Kama or joys are the two kinds, terrestrial and mundane, and celestial or ultra mundane. The joys of this world are those derived by the means of the senses of sound, touch, taste and smell from such objects as father, mother, gems, lucre, grain, raiment, food, ring, son, friend, wife, cattle, house, land, perfumes of flowers and all such luxuries. The joys of other material worlds are of the nature much exalted above those of this world, and consist in dwelling in such bright regions of Swarga, in heaven, in being there bereft of such distempters as hunger, thirst, grief, passion, age and death, and there enjoying draughts of nectar and the love of celestial nymphs. Nymphs mean apsaras. Fourth, Atmanubhava means soul bliss. Is also moksha in as much as it is release from or cessation, if sorrow, or in other words, deliverance from the bonds of revolving wheel of birth and death, and the recovery of the natural state of the soul in its freedom, or the soul life confined to itself without objective contacts. In the condition called Kaivalya, isolation, a purely psychic state but not divine. Bhagavad Anubhava, fifth one among Artha Panchakam, or God bliss, is true moksha or release in a much as it is not only attained by the cessation of all the recurring cycles of physical life, but its release followed by God bliss, the acme of the soul's aspiration and destiny. A total effacement of a remission of all the effects of deeds done, good or bad, takes place, and the gross body, which is a medium of experience in the effects of such deeds, which is a state of sixfold states, modification, eventually therein they are conception, delivery, change, growth, decline and death, which is abode of threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika, which screens God from the soul and breeds delusion, which is shot in the root of samsara, is discarded. The soul then enters into the Sushumna Nadi, rises into the head, and rupturing the crown of the skull, soars aloft in the subtle body, journeying along the Archiradi path and pure through the orb of the sun, orbit of the sun, reaches the bounds of physical nature defined by Vairagya river. That means Viraja river. Here, by a plunge into its sacred water, the soul is rid of all the subtle remnants of physical defilement, as well as the subtle body still adhering to it, and is received. Thus is reached the Parama Purushartha. In other words, the so long means Yavad Atma Bhavi, loving divine service. This service which is not a task, but a prerogative service, joining in the work. Fourth one, Upaya Swarupa, or means of principle. This truth or principle is controllable under 5 categories. Again, karma, works; jnana, knowledge; bhakti, divine or faith or love; prapatti, surrender, means faith; acharya abhimana, means trust in the mediator, means guru. That is called acharya abhimana. Abhimana means attachment, affection towards the teacher. First, karma. The works are those activities that so discipline and mortify the body as to kill sin. Their performance is called karma yoga. It consists of sacrifice, means yajna, charity, dana, penance, tapas, meditation, dhyana, prayers, sandhya, vandana. The 5 great sacrifices: Agnihotra, Tirthayatra, Punyakshetra Vasa, Chandrayana, Punya Nadi Snana, Vrata, Chaturmasya, Palamulasana, Shastrabhyasanam, Samaradhana, Japa, Tarpana, etc. are sampradayika works. The consciousness streaming about through the senses of the worldly objects, when prevented from sensuous experiences, stands in need of engagement otherwise, and these are offered in the soul itself. In other words, consciousness is turned away from the objective and turned inwards to dwell on the subjective, a process entitled inhibition and introspection. This Karma Yoga is auxiliary to Jnana Yoga and is the chief means to acquire material prosperity. Number 2, Jnana Yoga, knowledge, means the highest knowledge or divine knowledge. Jnana Yoga is its acquisition. The Karma Yoga aforesaid is a productive knowledge. The object or objective of this knowledge is divinity, conceivable in various localized situations, much as the orb of the sun, the heart of lotus, the so forth, and concretizable into figures and beauty as that which has an image in space limits, or the idea idolized bearing the discus, mean chakra, and conch, shankha, attired in radiant robes, armlets and anklets mated with the so forth. God is thus conceived as confined in contours of bewitching beauty. Third, Bhakti is love. Bhakti Yoga is the practice of loving faith. Features of consciousness mean jnana on an idolized ideal object of beauty is described to be its persistence and insistence thereon, like the streaming filament of a fluid, substance uninterrupted in flow. So far, the experience partakes of the nature of love, or becoming a loving experience. It obtains the name of Bhakti. The practice of this loving experience of loving faith is Bhakti Yoga. In other words, the truth perception of what constitutes the end or what salvation really signifies is imparted to him. Fourth one, Prapatti, is lovingly surrendering or sacrificing the faith or resigned trust in God. The practicing of this is Prapatti Yoga. In other words, it is the means of unservedly placing oneself on his hands and ridding oneself of all notions of securing salvation by self-effort. It is attitude of the mind entirely resigned to his will. This is real renunciation, Bhakti Yoga, supported by Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. As described above, becomes a means that tries to utmost strength and capacity of mortals, nor is it compatible with the native of those souls that have realized their essential nature, their relationships with God. The uplift to sublime independence is fruit of complete subservience to the supreme law of God. Prapatti is of the two kinds, tripta or patient, artha or impatient. He grows impatient if salvation, beseeching and besieging God in all manner of ways to lift him once for all to his holy feet. Acharya Bhimana is fifth one. He is either resort to his mediator by the aspirant for salvation, or the regard to the saved by the mediator himself from his own free choices. This fifth means of salvation possesses the virtue of being within the nearest reach of mankind. As a contra distinguished from all other means aforesaid, this is no doubt prescribed by God, the object for resort, but he is so beyond the reach of mankind's senses, minds and hearts as to forbid to his being used in the manner of other objects more accessible. The mediator then is remains under the grace by which souls may take refuge and shape their conduct entirely in his soul bidding. Fifth Panchakam, Virodhi Swarupa, anti-principle. This truth or principle is again subsumable, controllable under 5 categories. Artha Panchaka is main principle. Every Artha Panchaka having sub-principles, each and every 5. Totally 5 into 5, 25. What are the 5 principles in Virodhi Swarupa? Swarupa Virodhi, anti-soul. Paratva Virodhi, anti-God. Purushartha Virodhi, anti-goal. Upaya Virodhi, anti-means. Prapatti Virodhi, anti-gain. First, Swarupa Virodhi. What is hostile to the soul nature is a soul identifying itself or its nature with body. When this nescience say has vanished, then comes to the profession of all allegiance to the deities other than one of God. But when this error too has disappeared, what may again supervene is a false idea of the soul's independence, as if the soul entity were not dependent for its very being, not to speak of its activities and final doom on cosmic entity God. Paratva Virodhi. What is hostile to God is misnotion that lesser gods possess the character of the supreme, or mistaking of non-supreme deities or God for one God, or believing them to be of equal status with God, the investing of minor deities with the power that can only belong to the Supreme, the mistaking of God, incarnation, what Rama and Krishna etc. as a human, and thinking that the images of God are inert and powerless. Third, Purushartha Virodhi, or what is hostile to the ultimate aim. It is a desire for fruits or ends other than that of God himself, and the idea of deriving self-gratification or of gaining satisfaction for oneself is doing the divine services. Fourth one, Upaya Virodhi, or what is hostile to the true means. It is a notion that other means are unequal, if not more, efficacy, that the means which requires that those should be discarded or at least looked down upon as subordinate or unimportant. The notion of doubt whether this real means can be so simple and light as described, and therefore the fear that it cannot be an efficient means to a goal. The notion that the fruit or good is so great, and the notion that obstacle to one's obtaining and end are so great and so many. Fifth one, prapatti virodhi, or what is hostile to what is one's ultimate end or ideal of life. That ideal being God, to sin against his own but defeating of that ideal. The next is sinning against the godly. The third is what is called heinous sin, heya, mahapapa, begotten of the soul and body intimacy, devoid of remorse, atrocious and persistence in performance. Sins of food is hostile to knowledge or drawing of wisdom. Sins of company is hostile to bliss or reaping the fruit of real bliss. Sins of self or self-love is hostile to self-nature. Final, let us give conclusion. To the man in whom has dawned the knowledge of these five truths, Artha Panchakam, in whom has arisen the thirst for final release, but who has still to live in this world, in the midst of the worldly, the manner of spending that life till release is obtained, so that worldliness may not again besiege or invisible him, is laid down briefly as follows. He shall earn food and raiment in accordance with the rules of Varna, Shrama and Vaishnavism. He shall be grateful for good received, and he shall above all adore his mediator and follow him. So armed with the knowledge of the five truths, mean Artha Panchaka, and adorned by the conduct ensuant therefrom, the pilgrimage to the King of God. Thus, Acharya Pidaloka gave detailed description about Artha Panchaka. Let us bow to the feet of Acharya Pidaloka Acharya. Sriyakantai Kalyana Nide Nide Dram Sri Venkatanivasaaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangalasasana Pare Madacharya Purogamaihi Sarvaisha Guruvai Acharya Satrutayastu Mangalam.